Do you know why Peter looked away from Jesus? It wasn't because he stopped loving him. It was because he couldn't bear to see grace in the face of his own shame. Before the chaos of that night, Peter was filled with confidence. He had walked on water, however briefly. He had seen miracles. He had been named the rock on which the church would be built. So when Jesus spoke of being abandoned, Peter's heart was sure. He made a promise, spoken with all the sincerity a man could have. Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will. Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you. He genuinely believed it. His loyalty felt absolute, an unbreakable fortress of faith. He was ready to face death. This was his intention, pure and untested. But intentions are not the same as reality when fear arrives. Then came the turning point. The garden, the soldiers, the sword, the arrest. The world Peter knew was collapsing in a storm of fear and confusion. Jesus was taken, and the disciples scattered into the shadows. Peter followed, but at a distance. He slipped into a courtyard, warming himself by a fire, a ghost among enemies. The air was thick with pressure, with danger. Every whisper could be an accusation. Every glance could mean death. And then it happened. A servant girl recognized him. You also were with Jesus of Galilee. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced his heart. The instinct for self-preservation took over. The man who had promised to die for Jesus now found himself trapped. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. Denial. Once. He moved away, trying to disappear into the gateway. But another girl saw him. She told those around her, this fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth. He denied it again, this time with an oath. A desperate attempt to build a wall of lies between himself and the truth. I don't know the man. Denial. Twice. A little later, the crowd closed in. Their accusations grew bolder. Surely you are one of them, your accent gives you away. The pressure was unbearable. His world was shrinking to this single, terrifying moment. He began to call down curses. He swore to them, I don't know the man. A violent, final severing of his connection. His promise shattered into 1,000 pieces. Denial. 3 times. And in that exact moment, the rooster crowed. The sound cut through the noise of the courtyard. It was the sound of prophecy fulfilled. The sound of his own failure. And in that instant of realization, Jesus turned and looked straight at Peter. It was not a look of anger. It was not a look of disappointment or condemnation. There was no "I told you so" in his eyes. It was a look of knowing. A look that saw everything, the promise, the fear, the failure, the broken heart. It was a look that held more sorrow than judgment, more compassion than rebuke. This was the emotional climax, the moment where truth could no longer be hidden. The weight of that gaze broke Peter. He remembered the words Jesus had spoken just hours before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. The full, devastating reality of what he had done crashed down upon him. He had not just lied. He had denied his Lord, his friend, the very source of his hope. He went outside and wept bitterly. This was not a quiet sadness. This was the sound of a man's soul tearing apart. His weeping was deep, raw remorse. A torrent of shame and brokenness. This was his lowest point, a moment of profound spiritual darkness. The script of his life was now defined by this failure. The shame was a heavy cloak he could not remove. He was the one who ran. He was the one who denied. But this story reminds us of something hopeful. This moment of deep shame was not the final judgment. Failure is not the end of our calling. Denial is not the final word in our story. Because shame is not stronger than grace. The same Peter who denied Jesus 3 times out of fear. The same Peter who wept in the agony of his own weakness. The same Peter who felt the full weight of his failure. Was the same Peter who was later restored. On a beach, by another fire, Jesus would meet him again. Not with accusation, but with a question. Do you love me? Once, twice, 3 times. For every denial, a chance to affirm his love. For every failure, an invitation back into his calling. The man who was broken was made whole again. The one who denied was trusted again, tasked with feeding the sheep. His calling was not canceled, it was renewed, deepened by the painful memory of his failure and the overwhelming reality of grace. Peter's story connects his failure to our own. It speaks to every time we have promised to be strong and found ourselves weak. Every time we have let fear win. Every time we have felt the sting of our own shame. The message is a lifeline. You can fail, and you can still be called. You can be broken, and you can still be used. Your deepest shame is no match for the depth of grace. Because Peter didn't look away because he stopped loving Jesus. He looked away because shame met grace. And in that moment, he felt unworthy to stand in its light. But that light would come for him again, not to expose him, but to restore him. And it comes for us, too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe to inspire you for more videos. Thank you.